This is the first time I thought about the last time that we met. Welcome to Season 2 of All Things Music, where I'm giving you, the viewers and listeners, an all-access pass, and I'm pulling back the curtain on the music business. I've reached out to all my music business friends, and they've agreed to let loose and be real with me. So all aspects of their career, relationships, big wins, and hard losses, nothing is off the table. You never know where these convos will go, so hold on and let the hangout begin. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We have the awesome, the undeniably talented, the man, PJ Morton. What's up, PJ?
Yes. I'm good, man. How you doing? It's good to be with you.
And look, it's good to be seen and good to be in the world of the living.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed.
So yeah, man. So look, every time we start these things off, right? We start them off and I get my guests to say "allons manger." So try it.
Allons manger.
Allons manger.
Allons manger.
There you go, and that means let's eat.
All right.
So
I just know laissez les bon temps rouler.
Good times roll. That's okay, bro. You know, look, we in Southwest Louisiana did some good promotions back in the Gap. That's the one thing that stuck.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it did for sure.
So allons manger is let's eat. And so what I do is I generally start to kick everything off because this is called all things music, but it's also like a backstage hang. This is like if we were backstage hanging out, we're just gonna be talking and chilling or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So allons manger. What is your ultimate favorite food ever?
Man, I feel like it's different sections, but if this was it, and they was like, this is it. Either a good char-broiled cheeseburger and fries. I love fries and ketchup. I just do simple, boom. But then I also love barbecue ribs, So either in that world. But a burger and fries is my last. If I could. Yeah, because I don't drink Cokes that much anymore. But for that one, I need my cold Coke.
Gotta have your cold, ice cold Coke.
Oh, ice cold Coke, and I'm good. Yes, sir.
Hey, but you know what? What's crazy about that is that's probably why me and you so cool. Because see, a cheeseburger. Oh
man, you get a good one. Yeah.
And so there's different levels. You know what I'm saying? I don't do fast food burgers anymore.
Right.
So it's like there's the upper fast food, like the Five Guys, and and places like that. What's that one? It's in Austin, it's in Texas. Anyway, yeah. So it's always a long line. That one. But now let me ask you a question. Did you discover that you were a burger guy when you started doing travel around the world? Because that's when I discovered. I was like, what is my favorite food?
I'm not sure because I also would, and this probably speaks to it being one of my favorite foods, but if I ever went to a restaurant in another city and they had barbecue ribs, I would try them like wherever I was because I wanted to compare. But I think burgers for me did start with those homemade ones that, on the regular bread, where it's falling through. Yeah, exactly. And I've just always loved ketchup. So fries and ketchup to me is just the ultimate. So it always just was a part of the whole thing for me. I think I discovered that young, and then fast food, and then traveling. Of course, you can find you can go to different spots and experience some of the best in the world. Yeah. Yeah, we were just in Europe and they had a burger spot. Oh my God, it was so amazing. I'm trying to think what part of Europe. Germany, I think Berlin. Oh my God.
Yeah, they got good because that grass-fed beef over there.
Yeah, man, it was incredible. I sound hungry right now.
You ain't the only one. So I've been doing this vegetarian journey, man.
Okay.
And dealing with the burgers has been a thing. So, but I love the Impossible Burger. I love the Beyond Burger.
So,
but whenever I got into it, because I got with a holistic practitioner, and so what I'm dealing with is the inflammation in the body and all stuff like that. And so my body actually craves meat, which is good. Because I'm like not eating meat.
Yeah.
But then doing the research though, it's like those artificial burgers are actually doing my body more harm than the beef burger. So if I'm going to have a burger in the future, it probably will end up being regular.
Yeah, I know somebody. I have a friend of mine who was vegetarian and then vegan for 10 years, and and start eating meat again because he said a lot of the processing they were doing to the things to make it good in vegan life and vegetarian life was worse than just doing the regular. Yeah.
And that's exactly where I'm at right now, because that holistic practitioner, she was like, okay, Sean, here's the deal. She's like, those things, that's a quick way to go to the grave. And I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
That's like, but I'm helping out she's like, yeah, but it's ultra processed. And the problem is the processing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's plant-based, but it's processed. And your body can't deal with that. And then
it's foreign.
The heated oils, you're not supposed to heat oils, at all. And so those things rely heavily on coconut oil and stuff like that. So then when you fry it, now you done made it foreign to your body.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what?
Life is all moderation and balance, man. Anyway, that's what it becomes. It's just like treat yourself sometimes. Don't go too far. Yeah.
And so right now where I'm at is I'm just off all of that. I'm trying to do, as close to. I'm not heating anything past 285. Not doing the heated oils. And it's pretty cool because you can use grass-fed butter that Kerrygold. Oh, it takes
I'm not hip. Okay.
Kerrygold and G and G. Oh my God!
I know if you're saying it, it's right. Dude.
And it takes a little longer because you can't go past a medium heat. But I mean, the flavor is phenomenal. So I end up asking that, and then now I say, in the Coronication, what has been your go-to food? I know you're a family man and you got the kids, and
I am. I think one of the things I want to keep past Corona is all of the cooking we're doing. We went out quite a bit. I was doing too much going out to eat, too much ordering Uber Eats. So we've been cooking. My wife more than me, but I hit the grill every weekend. This last was my brother-in-law's birthday, so I did ribs, chicken, salmon.
Cedar plank salmon?
I don't know if it was cedar plank salmon because my wife's not eating meat right now. I'm not sure what it was that I.
Hey, go buy a cedar plank.
Okay.
Go buy a cedar plank and you put that on that. That's right. That's gonna get you some points.
Okay. All right. There it is. So I do that, and then we got hibachi Fridays where I do like the Benihana thing at the house. I'm just using a cast iron skillet, but I'm doing the Benihana thing. It's fun. So we've done that. So that's the go-to in this pandemic. We've been doing that. Those two for sure.
So that's beautiful, man. So and it sounds like you're having the same experience that most of the country is having. You're rediscovering family and family time and rediscovering what's good for you and your family because it's been a time of reflection. I'm saying, for most people, and it seems like y'all got that thing. But you're a Louisiana man, so I know you can cook because that's what we do. Us Creole
we got
men,
that. Yeah, we know about that. We get down.
Black pot action and then black pot action. Oh, bro.
Yeah, you know.
Black pot action.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. So we got that out the way. The food is the thing. Man. So young PJ Morton. Most people who are familiar with you understand you come from the church because your dad is Bishop Paul Morton, Paul S. Morton. Not bad. Are you junior?
I'm junior. Yeah, that's where the PJ comes from.
What does the S stand for?
Sylvester.
Okay.
Sylvester. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. And I got P3, who's Paul Sylvester III.
Yep. Man, you know what I'm saying? And in my case, my baby mama ended up wanting to name Lil Sean after me. I didn't think my daddy was very, very staunch against the whole multiple name thing. But since I got a little Sean, I'm kind of hoping that,
Yeah, man.
you put in a Sean 3.
That's special. It's special. That's what the Kings do. That's what the Kings do. I want Paul the 13th somewhere down the line. King Paul.
Dude, yeah. Are there any of them past 4 though? Like like
4?
like today? Are there any of them past 4
No,
today?
not besides George Foreman, and he did it a little different.
Well,
He
yeah,
did
he
a
knew
little
all
different.
of them. Yeah,
He named all of them George.
that's a whole different situation.
That's a different level. Yeah, but I don't know any past 4, not in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so young PJ Morton, right? So when did you start playing keys? Or was keys your first instrument?
Well, no drums. I feel like everybody bangs on the drums first.
Everybody
Yeah,
plays drums first.
it's the most accessible. So I was playing drums probably at 2, and probably about 7. I realized, you realize pretty quickly like who's gonna be the best drummers, and because everybody's gunning for that first. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, I'm not gonna be the best at this. Let me get out this game. And about 8 years old is when I remember started messing around with keys. My sister was being classically trained, and my mother wanted me to take piano lessons. And so I tried, but I was already hearing at that point. So I was playing stuff on the radio. TV show themes is the way I learned how to play. I would just play along with the TV, and I just couldn't do the piano lessons. I wasn't disciplined enough. I was like, I would read the numbers. This one they do the numbers for your fingers before you get to notes.
Yeah.
And I would memorize it after the first one, and I wouldn't be reading. I'm just playing it. And then he noticed I put a little progression in there. He's like, that ain't what you're reading. So I gave up on that. But yeah, that started my journey. My pop said he prayed over my hands, when I was a kid, and I still can't really read to this day. But the gift was there. The gift of music was in me, and it's taking me pretty far.
Dude, and like I said again, commonalities, man. I took saxophone lessons, and the guy he was just looking at me, and I'm playing. He's like,
"Yeah, like this." Yeah, right.
I was like, "What? I read it already.
Yeah.
Why do I have to read it again?"
Exactly. I know what it is. I'm playing it for you right now.
Is it right? Yes, but you're not reading.
Yeah.
And so that's to this day, that's the number one thing I struggle with is the practice time, which I don't think you had that. Do you have that?
I never practiced. My practice was basically playing, when I started playing, me and Ed, once I started playing in church at 12, we were playing so much. I was in church 4 days a week that it felt like that was my practice. And the way I learned things was messing up. I would play things over and over. I was like, oh, that's how they do it. I would hear it, but I never was big on practice. Yeah, I never was big on practice. And then I think I started to focus on the writing, like what music meant overall, not just as a player, like what was this overall. When I started focusing on the writing, the playing became less of like the focus. It was an accompaniment, so I just never, I wouldn't say I struggled with it, but I just never practice it was a different form of practice to me, like on job training.
OTJT.
Yeah. Yeah.
OTJT.
Yeah.
So and since we're going with the similarity, tell me if this happened. When I was like 5, I grew up in the Catholic church, so it was a lot. There was no opportunity.
In him, with him, in yeah. I went to all Catholic schools, so I know all about it. Yeah. Oh, from kindergarten to St. Aug, though. Yeah.
Right. But we were a Black Catholic church. Well, my formative years were white, regular Catholic, white Catholic in the country. So they were playing guitars and they were behind me. And so I would hear it and I would be hearing harmonies and I'll be like, well, if they did this, and I'm fine. I don't even really know how to do it, but I'm hearing different ways to like set it up and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, if they did that, it would be cool. And then like when I got to be like 12, we moved to Lake Charles and I was in a Black Catholic church, and that was gospel music straight up. But we didn't have the technicians like y'all had in full gospel and Kojic and stuff like that. We didn't have that atmosphere of like musician, mentorship and stuff. So when did you notice? Because I know you one of your strengths is arranging and writing. So at what point did you start rearranging what you heard? Like you would hear them do it and be like, man, if you just went to the 5 on that.
Well, I think that was the benefit of, like you said, what you didn't have with the mentorship. And it maybe wasn't direct mentorship, but so me, Ed, who's my drummer still, we started a band when I was 12, but he's been with me since then. But we would after the real musicians played and the church was over,
Yeah.
then we would get on the instruments and vibe out and play what they were playing and start to make it our own and make it younger and put our beats to it. So the arranging, as soon as I started playing, you know, probably 12, when we had a band called Christians Combined. We were an instrumental band. It's before I was singing at all. But we were just playing. Our first gig was my father's Morton Scholarship Foundation, the banquet. We played the banquet. We were the house band, and so I started that arranging early, like in my mind, and I had the benefit too. I always say my dad's church was like because I'm happy I grew up in New Orleans and all the music you get with growing up there and everything. But my dad's church was kind of a bubble of, you know, in the midst of New Orleans. And we had some of the greatest musicians in the world inside. My dad was from Windsor, you know, Ontario, Canada, right across the tunnel from Detroit. So one of the musician who I learned from and like taught me everything indirectly was this guy, Joey Britton from Detroit. So like we had that flavor already. My dad grew up with the Clarks and the Winans, right? So he brought that in and he mixed it with New Orleans. And it was already a different flavor from the very beginning for me. I didn't realize this till I got older and went to other churches. Like the way we played songs and stuff was all our own signature. You know, it became, and then when you think of full gospel, which was much later, it became a flavor that kind of caught on to the whole world, you know, in a different way, the way we did worship and the way we did certain songs. So I always had that, advantage of like looking around and understand. I saw people who wrote songs and I saw people who arranged stuff, you know, so that was always
the environment is everything.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I always say that, man. I was very blessed and lucky to have what I had around me. You know, it's just like was a wealth. It was a wealth. And my dad was, he was thinking far ahead enough to want to make records, right? Like church records. So we made albums, but he wouldn't, all the writing would be done. He would say, do y'all have a song? So he would go to the musicians and see if they had songs and the choir director. So it was all internal. Yeah.
Talk about, I mean, that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first of all, from what I know, and it's not deep about your dad, because I mean, I know that y'all have always been on the cutting edge, and I know at one point he was like the guy for full gospel Baptist, right?
Well, he's the founder, yeah.
He founded, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he founded the Full Gospel Baptist. So I mean, so you have an environment of all of the heavy hitters in gospel music, period, are coming through on a regular basis. So like you said, environment. But the fact that he, as the founder of that mass movement, would come to y'all and be like, do y'all have any song? I mean, I've been under, from when I left Catholicism, I've probably been under 5 pastors, and not one of them have come and said, knowing that I write, did not one of them have come and said, hey man, you know, we're thinking about doing a project. You want to? So your dad going to people who are not his seed and saying, hey, and giving that kind of opportunity, and with that platform, that's huge. Yeah,
and it grew. I will say it grew. I mean, because it started with our church records. Even Full Gospel was when I was a teenager.
Yes,
I'm talking about when I was 7, 8, 9, 10. We were doing Greater St. Stephen records, the church. So he understood building and honing people's skills at that. Then when we got to Full Gospel and it was this national thing, he already was familiar with like the possibility of, we know we got writers in our circle. And he also opened it up to, because what was brilliant about Full Gospel, it was like the cool churches everywhere in the world, right? So like our music department was killing, but so was Carlos Malone in Miami, or, you know, this guy in this place. And they all were writing. We were all submitting at that time. And then I got old enough where I started submitting, but it's because I saw that it was possible. Because to be honest, outside of the church, I didn't see songwriters and producers in New Orleans. I saw players all the time. I saw performers, but I didn't really see producers and songwriters. Alan Toussaint was a generation away from me, you know, so I didn't really get to home from that. Now, Terrence Blanchard did take me under his wing, and I saw that side. But he was like the only guy I could look to say, oh, okay, they arrange. And he was more of a composer, for, you know, but just like pure songwriters and producers, I didn't really have that. That's why I was so grateful it was right in my dad's church where I could get it. You know?
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's like, Yeah. So okay. So young PJ's playing in the church. He's writing. At what age did you go? You know, pops. Think secular is the thing for me.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how that conversation go? Or was it even a conversation? Because you know,
well,
fathers generally know their son.
it was a conversation. I feel like he knew that was coming, but so I was writing. All this is kind of fresh on my brain. I've been working on this documentary stuff we're gonna do, but I was writing R&B songs already. Like
Yeah.
like I didn't know what to do with them. We didn't have any industry, so I didn't know. It's
Wow.
like, all right, you write them. I don't know how to get this to whoever, Brian McKnight, or who, I don't know. What's the next step? So I was just writing them and just having them. And he kind of knew that. And then when I started, so at 15, was going into 16, going into my senior year, I wrote a song for Men of Standard, this gospel group, and that was like my first check in music. So I started to have the confidence that like, okay, I'll actually be able to do this. But then when that was as a songwriter producer, mind you, I didn't want to sing, or I wasn't trying to be a singer at all. Like,
not your personality.
I just didn't want to sing. I was comfortable behind the keys,
Yeah.
playing my part and vibing with the musician. I was always a musician. But then I started to write these songs and I would demo them and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to get to Brian McKnight. I don't know how to get it to Brandy. I don't know. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe I'm gonna, but as an artist, this is when I started hearing Stevie and Donnie and James Taylor and the Beatles. And I'm like, I don't want to just talk about God on every song. Like, I don't like, that's not my life. I don't talk about God all day, every day. I look at the sky and see that it's blue or that it's sunny or that it's raining. I look at Courtney's my wife now, but she wasn't always my wife.
I look at women and I'm like,
yeah. I had to date her. I had to find her. I had to, whatever happens in life, I just thought, man, there's so much subject matter. And in gospel, you kind of have to be limited to talking about God or things of God. Yeah. And I'm like, if I want to talk about God, I just will. Stevie did, Jesus, Children, 10 zillion light years away. I mean, so many songs about God. So I'm like, okay, on this side, I could talk about God and whatever I want to. On this side, I'm only able to do this. So it became pretty clear to me as a songwriter and a producer, I can't be an artist that's limited that way.
Yes.
Although that would have been an easier path for me, because of my dad and the connections I had. But I just knew that it wasn't going to be sustainable for me. I wasn't going to be happy.
Yeah, you would have been Donald Lawrence, but a short-lived Donald Lawrence because you'd have got frustrated.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
You'd had the hits, the gold plaques, the everything, the Grammys.
Yeah, and then I'd have been like, I'm done. Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Then you'd be backsliding and we'd be reading about you.
Yeah, it'd have been bad. It'd have been
reading about you in the papers and stuff. Okay, so 15. So 15, you get your first check.
Yes, about 16. I probably wrote it when I was 15.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
So explain to the people that you made your check at 15, but didn't get to 16. The business is a hey, congratulations, you'll get it 6 months to a year later.
Yeah. Well, this was so what happened was I started driving. I got my license at 15. So I started to write these songs, but I didn't know what they were for. I just wanted to hear them. I wanted to hear like what my voice sounded like, harmonies that I'm hearing. So I started going to the studio, and it was probably my best friend's older brother was in this group, was in Men of Standard, and I just let him hear it probably by the time I was 16. And this was a good time in the music industry when, as a producer, you could get a upfront check. As a writer, you could get a nice upfront check. That's changed quite a bit, Yeah. But yeah, I remember I was so young. I told my friends at school, I used to feel like I was living a double life. They're like, man, whatever. You ain't writing no song on no album. What are you talking about? Right. I brought the CD booklet to St. Aug. I'm like, yo, I did, man. I write what y'all think I'm lying. I wrote this, and they went all crazy and stuff. But that's how young I was, like in the industry. But I was learning. I didn't even know you get money for giving a song. Like I didn't know anything at all. I was just happy to be there. I was just like happy. Like I got a song that I could hear to somebody sing that I wrote. Like I wrote this, Men of Standard. I'm a fan of the band, the group already. Right. So that was it for me. Once I got that fire, it's been no turning back since then.
Ain't nothing like a check. Ain't nothing like a check to do it.
Man, it's nothing like a check after you would do it for free. And then you get the check and you're like, oh, wait, I can make money doing this too. I was going to do this. I was going to be happy already. Yeah. I was going to be cool already. Now I could get paid. That was it. So I've had blinders on since then.
Sweet. All right, y'all. Look, we'll be right back with PJ Morton. We're going to find out more about his awesome life. And holla.
Hey everyone, I'm Dee Dee McKinley from Christian World. I just wanted to invite you to join us online for our services each Sunday at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. We have a powerful time of worship, followed by an encouraging message from Pastors Jerry and Hope Snyder. You can watch on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, or on our website at christianworld.cc.
Ball's Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition with 2 locations to better serve you. We thank all of you for continuing to support us during these trying times. Now, more than ever, we know how far our perfectly seasoned fried chicken, fish, or seafood will go to satisfy your cravings or just give you a little comfort. We are serving all of our menu classics to go until we get the all clear. So call ahead or stop by our Enterprise Boulevard and Common Street locations and get the taste you crave. Ball's Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition.
I understand that we had a deep connection, yeah. And I appreciate the love and the care. But right now you've got to let me leave, yeah.
We back with PJ Morton. We found out about getting checks at 15 and 16.
Yeah,
we
checks.
found out about checks. Y'all don't want to see this one. It ain't no.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I like how you just had a check just sitting there.
Well, I ain't cash it because it you know.
It's not worth it. It costs more to cash.
Hey, it's $21. I'm gonna cash it though. And that's that money from
some pocket change, man.
That's a burger when I start eating them again.
Absolutely.
So you're 15, you're in school, you convincing all your friends. Did you play sports at St. Aug?
I didn't. I ran track for a minute. So high school was right when I was figuring out music was the most important thing in my life. Like I wanted to play basketball really bad. I don't think I tried out for the basketball team though. I tried track first, and I'm like, I'm cool. I like this, but it's taking way too much of my time, because in sports in high school, you got to choose. Like that becomes a job. Yeah. And I was like, all I want to do is go and play music, And so no, I didn't play any sports in high school.
Okay, sweet. But then after you got the the credit did you walk around with that insert like everywhere?
No, I just wanted to show my friends, and then I was cool. Yeah.
I thought you meant like no, PJ playing on that record, really? Man, show it.
Nah. They believe me. See, that's what's so crazy, the double life. The only people that didn't believe me were the people in school, because I was just like a normal school kid to them. They didn't know my whole other life. I was playing the House of Blues on Sundays for Sunday brunch. I was at 14. Me and Ed were doing that. I was like an adult outside of school, but then school I was the So I had to prove to them, but everybody else knew that I was, doing my thing.
Okay, sweet. So you're 15, 16. So when did the conversation with your pops happen about, wait. Yes, it had to, because I know in college you had a significant thing that we're going to get to. So did you have it in high school or was it in college?
Yeah, no, I feel like it was probably the end of high school. Right, or maybe right before college. I feel like a conversation happened. I was out of town. I remember that. I was at my brother-in-law's house at the time, Elvin.
It wasn't in person.
It wasn't in person. Well, we had conversations in person for sure. Like I had to figure it out. I had to figure out who I wanted to be. So that was the way I figured it out. We bounced off. They would scream at me. They thought I was rebelling, all of this stuff. You know, when I finally called him, it was like when I knew it was like, all right, there's no going back. Like, this is who I'm going to be, you know. And my dad, like you said, dads know. At that point, he almost like said it before me. You know, he was like, man, I know, you know, like, I understand that you're going to be different than what I am and that you got to follow your purpose and it looks different from mine. And really, when my pops did that, I was empowered. Like, that was it. Like, once I didn't really care about anybody else. It was like, oh, if he's with me, then I'm going. Like, that's it, you know.
Yeah. So you like we're going to bring the Bible into, if God be for me, and he is.
Right.
Who can be against me?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah. No, it was God and then my pops. I'm like, yeah, if my dad be before me.
Then can't nobody fool with me.
For real.
I've seen him move mountains. I've seen God move on his behalf.
Yeah.
Even on my side.
Nah, that was a big thing when he you know, supported me in that way. That was it for me.
Right. Okay, so you graduate. You had a conversation with pops. You had your brother-in-law's house.
My brother-in-law's house at that time. Yeah.
And then, Atlanta. So Morehouse, right?
Mm-hmm. So
you're a Morehouse man. Why Morehouse?
Oh, man.
Don't say why not. Don't say why not.
A lot of reasons. Nah. One, my uncle went to Morehouse, my dad's brother, who was the first in their family to go to college. Okay. And my mother used to talk so highly about Morehouse and about how, you know, my Uncle Man was he's a dude from the Ninth Ward. You know, I mean, they grew up in the Magnolia Projects. He made it to Morehouse and changed his whole thing, his whole trajectory of life. And then after that, so I just had a high respect for it. You know, I knew about Spike Lee. I knew about MLK. You know, I knew the people that had gone through there, what it represented. And my sister went to Spelman. My sister was 4 years older than me. Yeah. And we went to visit her probably my junior year in high school, sophomore year in high school. And I got to feel the campus. Yeah. And then I got to see all those Spelman women. I was like,
done.
I'm in. I literally didn't apply for any other college. That was the only one I applied. So if I didn't get in, I wasn't going, I suppose. I don't know, but I got in, so it worked out.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you at Morehouse. What is your major? It's not music, is it?
No. My major's marketing. I just because that pattern started early. Yeah, I didn't read music, and I was in the jazz band. We skipped over that, but Mr. Bluen, who was my jazz band teacher, this real quick, we had two keyboard players. One could read, I couldn't read, but I could play. I could play, you know what I'm saying? And he knew we were cats, you know, so like Mr. Bluen was still playing on the weekends. So he knew the difference, right? So, and he was really against not reading. But one day he broke down, he was like, hey man, take these CDs and go learn these. I was like, all right, got you. I came in there playing the A Train, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? I was ready. So I had that pattern of not, and then also I used to see education or notation destroy some of my friends, you know, like some of my favorites, singers mainly, and keyboard players. It would make them
sterile.
Yeah, it would make them put that over the feeling as opposed to the feeling over that, and using the notation as a guide maybe, but not who you are. Singers would not say I'm screaming now, or that's like, you know, so I was scared of it. It wasn't just that I didn't want to learn. I started to have a fear of like going through.
But that was a very, very healthy discernment though, because whenever I've seen it happen, because I was the guy in the marching band with all the music majors, right? Mm-hmm. And so I saw what going into that kind of environment does. they don't encourage improvisation. They don't encourage feeling the music outside of the notation and what it says. I'll whatever or whatever the thing is for it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people get really sterile, and then whenever you don't have music, you're paralyzed. You can't think outside. It's like I have a few drummers that I've helped grow up in this industry, and they didn't play with a click before. And then now that they've been playing with a click, they can't play without one.
Right.
Not,
it's not supposed to. Nothing is supposed to control you. Yeah.
It's not either or. It's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just music. You know, and my I guess being from New Orleans too, where jazz started and everything. You know, I always say what came first, like the feeling. You had to play something to notate it, right? So like we came first. the notation was to make sure that everybody else could play along.
Yes.
But the creator didn't have that at first, you know. So
to back up Satchmo, you needed to know what key he was in because he was going.
Yeah, he going. You just better be ready. Yeah.
Could you follow the question?
So I do have some brothers that I love that can do both, you know, and they're some of the greatest musicians I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But for me, I stayed away from it. So once I got to college, I always cared about marketing and understood business and wanted to just put paper to it and understand what it actually was. And that's one of the better decisions I made in my life for sure.
Totally, man. Because like I said, that conversation where you like bust my head wide open with all the stuff you were telling me, I was like, okay, PJ. So okay, this thing is all monetized. Oh, this is like a viable. Wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Thinking smarter. Yeah, it's marketing. Yeah.
Marketing. Is that a thing? Have you copywritten that yet?
No, it's actually something me and Fifth Ward Weeby used to say. Rest in peace, Fifth Ward. Yeah, but we I've not seen it. I need to. Yeah, I'm doing so many things. That's another thing I need to trademark.
You're the marketing guy. I'm the coach / guy from the outside watching what you do. Hey, right. Make a note. Marketing. We get off.
Yeah, we say it all the time too. I just never.
Oh my God, copyrighted before some 6th Street, you know, New York City. See you say that on something, and then they got you. You know what I'm saying? We that's the ownership. Ownership is a big thing, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that as well. I need to make a note for myself. So now you're at Morehouse, and you and I talked about your Grammy win with. I'll let you explain that, but your Grammy win with India Ari. How did the relationship happen with India Ari?
Right.
The relationship.
And to be noted, I should say that I think that should be a Grammy win, but it's not technically by the rules.
They don't even know what you're talking about yet. But when you explain it, I will let you.
I know.
You can say it
but
again.
no, India and I, when I moved off campus my sophomore year, I moved into this place, and it was a piano in the lobby. India Ari just happened to live there as well, and she was upstairs, and I just was playing the piano downstairs, and she comes from the business center up there, and she's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm India. You know, I'm signed to Motown." I was like, "Okay." Her first record hadn't come out yet, so I'm just like, "All right." You know, everybody was an artist in Atlanta. I'm like, "Cool." So I'm like, "Who you liking?" She said Stevie Wonder. I said, "Oh, okay, now we could talk." We start saying, I think our favorite songs were the same, maybe like an off one, like Summer Soft or something, you know.
Yeah. Deep cuts.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay. She checked that box. So I was like, all right, well, sing something, Stevie. She sang Ribbon in the Sky. I was like, oh, you're like the real thing.
Right,
and
right.
We literally just, because her first album was done, it just hadn't come out. And we developed a relationship in between that album and the next. And by the time she got to the next album, because that first one, notably, she was nominated for like 8 Grammys and lost them all. Yeah. Because Alicia Keys also came out that same year.
Same year. Bad time for New Orleans.
Bad time, yeah. So she was killing it. I mean, 8 Grammy nominations on your first album was huge, but then lost every single one. So the second one, she wasn't nominated for 8. She was nominated for 2. And I produced a song and wrote a song on there. And I thought that when you are nominated for best R&B album, the writers and the producers on the album, mine became one of the more popular ones because it was one of the few up tempos on the record called Interested. It's called Interested. And So when she won, I thought I won a Grammy, like boom, like we're in there. And literally thought this for, I mean, years.
20 years. 20 years.
I'm talking about like years. And said it in interviews, said didn't know I was wrong, because I'm definitely not a liar, right? So I really believed it. Not until I was something with the Recording Academy, I was running for something, and I said, yeah, put Grammy Award winning, blah blah blah, and they're like, you haven't technically won a Grammy Award. I was like, are you kidding me? I've been telling this to people my whole life.
And nobody checked. You like, who gonna check me, boo? I'm PJ.
I ain't even know who gonna see. If I knew it was a lie, I wouldn't even be able to say it. I would feel uncomfortable. I would feel so it kind of shows you how con artists and liars roll through this life. When you're confident in saying something, people don't question it. But I apologize. Thank God I finally won some Grammys, But sorry for anybody who I said that to for 20 years.
Right.
Questlove told me same thing happened to him, but he was actually walking to the stage when Erykah Badu was nominated for Best R&B Album. And they had to pull him back like, you didn't win this. Like, sit down. So it's a common mistake. It's a common mistake for people to think that they get a trophy. I mean, you get your plaque, but you don't get your trophy for that. So
yeah, I've had to explain that to a few people. And recently, again, I was like, look, man, I thought the same thing with my noms. My band I was excited. I called them. I'm like, yo, man, we got it. We got it. And then the guy said, no, man, you got it.
You got it. Yeah.
Like, but wait, I put their names and their info in the thing. I registered. I did everything right.
Not for this album. Not for this category.
And the band. I was like, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So it's some technical thing, and like everything else, the reason, just for y'all, so y'all know, the reason that is because there have been people in the past, not like PJ, who unbeknownst to him, he didn't have it. But people who had like gotten food for the guy who mixed the album was saying
Grammy Award winning food carrier.
I'm a Grammy Award winner. I was working at the studio that they got it, so I'm a Grammy Award winner. So they made it really specific about who can say that they are.
Absolutely.
And who can say that they aren't. And they're really big on that. And the Recording Academy definitely sends cease and desists out to a lot of people. And there are many conversations that are had around the country. But yeah, so now you live in life, as a Grammy winner with India Ari, you know what I'm saying? You doing the thing, you killing it. Does that help like jobs and gigs and stuff like that?
I think it sounds good. I mean, the thing about me was I don't really dwell on what I win, and I don't dwell on awards anyway. So it just fueled me to work harder. The fact that I knew that I could do this. And like, that was my first placement, by the way. I didn't say that. So like, that was junior year at Morehouse.
Explain placement.
So as a songwriter, you write songs for people and you try to give them to them. And if they take it on their album, you place it on their album, and it's a song placement. And so that was my first placement in mainstream music. I had the gospel things, but this was my first one.
Box money.
Yeah. Nah, man, that was a good time too. That's when records were really, really selling.
Making money. Physical
albums.
Yes, yeah. 17, 18 CDs had just come out when you did that, right?
They probably had been out for a few years by then, but it was still young, CDs was still young.
That was new. CDs were brand new with India.
Oh yeah.
Like 2-3 years, something like that. Max. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that was my very first placement. So I'm like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, it's nominated for a Grammy. Oh, so all that did was make me want to get out of school. First of all, I thank God I only had one more semester left, because I was about to just be out. I'm like, man, what am I doing? That's what I'm here for. Yeah, I'm out.
Checks.
Yeah, man. I'm rich. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I had one more semester left at Morehouse, but I was just on the grind from that point. Yeah. Like, that was it. I linked up with Jermaine Dupri right after I graduated. Went on tour.
Just skip over that like it's nothing. And I linked up. And no, back up, bro. Back up. So Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, well, before that, I was going to say I missed one thing, because one thing that did hurt me, because a lot of my friends didn't go to college and they went straight on the road, or they became artists, or they. I had, it kind of it depends on how you look at it. It can be a handicap. Could be a handicap because you're older than some artists who start right out 18. They go, And me, I was writing and stuff, but as far as like going and touring is something I really want to be. Like I said, I was a musician first. And so I missed tours, but thankfully, right when I graduated, I got an offer to go on the Erykah Badu tour from the music director was my buddy from New Orleans, Gino, who lived in Dallas. And so my first tour was Erykah Badu out the gate. Like as soon as I graduated Morehouse, I played keys, sang background, and played guitar even on that tour. And
so you went backwards. You went from buses and planes down to vans. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm. That was it's crazy because when you hit those things in different points in your life, they mean different things. So it was like, yeah, I had been on a bus with Badu, but when I got on my bus, that was a whole different feeling. Yeah. It's like you would think I had never been on a tour bus. Yeah. I was in Maroon 5 by that time, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, we get
yeah, exactly.
Erykah Badu, and then now you run into Jermaine Dupri.
So Erykah Badu, after I got off Erykah Badu's tour, I had the worst writer's block of my life on the Erykah Badu tour. I think because so much information, I was just soaking it up. And when I got off, I wrote my first solo album, Emotions. And after I did that, that led me to Jermaine. And I spent maybe like, 2 or 3 years writing and producing with him. This was after the biggest records in the world. So this is after Mariah's #1 album. This was after Confessions, Usher's album. Yeah. And B. Cox was blowing up so much that he went to do his own thing. And I became Jermaine's Brian Michael Cox. I was playing the keys. And I was
B. Cox 2.0.
Exactly. So it was a good training ground for me. It was a whole different thing for me. Yeah. But I learned so much in that different environment.
So what's Jermaine's work? I know his work ethic is phenomenal.
It's the best I've ever seen.
But what's the flow like? He's like, okay, P, yeah, man, I'm gonna do something like a do. Is he that guy, or is he? Like,
no, usually he would just let me start off with progressions. Like, all right, just play what you feel, and we'll fall on something that he likes, and then he'll start putting drums to it, and we'll get there that way. One thing I learned from him, we would stop, say at midnight, and go to the club and feel whatever's happening.
Yeah.
Right. He's the first person that taught me. I didn't respect the radio until Jermaine too. He listened to the radio all the time, and I was like, "Why? I don't like what's on the radio." He was like, "You got to know what's going." So I started to listen to the radio after Jermaine, but we would go to the club, then come back to the studio and listen to the beat that we were doing, and we would know immediately whether it works or not. Like immediately, It was like a genius thing. But I went into that situation thinking I wasn't gonna learn anything from him, and I ended up learning so much from him, and how hard he worked. You would think he had nothing, and at that time, Jermaine had like 3 songs in the top 10. Like he was killing at that time.
When CDs were selling, when artists were making millions.
Oh yeah, when he was getting 100,000 per track, like a beat. $100,000 for a beat. Yeah, that was that era.
Not counting the ones he wrote and he got all that mailbox.
Yeah, I'm talking about beat. No, this before the writing. This is like, here, I don't have to do anything. You want to write on this beat? Here.
100,000.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, good time.
Okay. So go through Jermaine Dupri phase, 2-3 years of that. Now you are ready to attack the world. What's your first solo thing in between Jermaine and Erykah Badu? So what's the next step after Jermaine?
So Jermaine, I actually was looking to, the reason I went to Jermaine, he was the president of the Virgin Records at the time, and D'Angelo was signing the Virgin, and I was like, I would really like to put my record through Jermaine, but that didn't work out exactly. So I started to just grind out, did more records, and on that last album, Walk Alone, I was just kind of burnt out. I mean, it was still going, but I was playing the same exact clubs. It was the same exact people. It wasn't really growth at the time. It was just kind of like staying. But it was a great place to be, but I wanted to keep growing. And I was burnt, and I got a call from Adam Blackstone, the music director, and he said that Questlove had put him on this Maroon 5 gig, and they had asked him if he knew any keyboard players or slash singers that could help out with the band. And I had 3 more dates left on my tour, and I'm like, I was burnt, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go to LA and I'm gonna audition. First audition in my life, First audition. I mean, they had been a band since 8th grade, so they had never auditioned anybody. It was just family vibes. I went and played one song, and we just clicked immediately, almost, and that was I probably went April of 2010, May, and July was my first gig in 2010. It's been 10 years already. Just this month, it's been 10 years. So it's been a ride, man. And, I didn't know what it was going to be initially. My first 2 years, I wasn't really in pictures and stuff. I was just playing.
Right.
And I thought it might just be a tour or two. I just wanted something different. And it turned into this, And in between that is when after my first year with Maroon is when I signed my first major label deal with Young Money.
When PJ, you're not quite good enough. Is that it? Is that
No, oh no, that's Claustrophobic. No, this was my Young Money album. So this is my Universal album.
That's late.
No, this was right after Maroon 5. Claustrophobic was after I had been through the major label situation.
Yeah.
And said, nah, I'm going back indie.
So happened first, and then you got deals while you were with Maroon 5. You got 2 deals, right? 2 or 3.
It was happening at the same time. I had started talking to Mac Main and I remember telling him, man, I'm about to join Maroon 5, but we were already talking about a deal with Young Money. But it took about a year to negotiate that my Universal deal. Yes. So they were all kind of happening at the same time, and they hit one right after the other.
Yeah, you've been really blessed in that. I bet just for me knowing and paying attention to your career, like at this latter part, it's like your stuff is always like bang.
Man.
Maybe a little bit
always like that, but yeah,
bam, bam. But still, it's like, damn, everything works and it's symbiotic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I try. I try to make that happen. Sometimes I think I'm just blessed sometimes, where it falls in line. I try to plan as much as I can, but so much of it is I couldn't have planned it.
God, God hands all over it. Because your daddy, look, we're going back like the preacher. Because your daddy was with you, and then he with you.
Right.
So that's crazy because it's like your first tour is Badu. So you're instantly on buses and planes.
Mm-hmm.
Then your first real work environment after getting the Grammy with India is with Jermaine Dupri at the height of Jermaine Dupri-isms, right? So the lessons you're getting are just, you can't put a price on it.
No,
right?
No, priceless for sure. Yeah.
And then you go from Jermaine Dupri to Maroon 5, where you thought touring with Erica was cool. And then you touring with Maroon 5.
It was a different thing, yeah, for sure.
and then has their touring situation, it seems like it's gone up from that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, before COVID, we were going to do stadiums this year, which is, we've never done stadiums. We've, done arena besides the Super Bowl.
Japan wasn't a stadium?
Huh?
Japan wasn't a stadium?
We've done them in, we do stadiums in South America and Asia. But a U.S. stadium thing is much different. When you talk about Yankee Stadium and the Tigers Stadium
they're bigger.
Oh yeah, you talking about 60,000 versus 20,000.
Oh, okay. So those stadiums are small.
What stadiums?
Outside the country.
No. I mean, so when we do Brazil, we're doing 50,000 people. Yeah, we're doing 50,000 people, 60,000 people. Okay. I just mean in America, people don't do a lot of stadium tours.
Yes, you are.
It's because when you do those other countries, you're talking about the whole country coming to a stadium, right? And they're used to soccer where it's 60,000 people there. Yeah, 100,000 exactly. But the U.S., that's a baseball thing and football thing, but a lot of people don't get to do those, So we were doing it for our first time this year, and it got, of course, postponed in the summer of 2021. But no, it's grown. It's definitely grown. Yeah, it's grown since I've been around.
Yeah, because I remember talking to you. You were like, "Yeah, we did an Asian tour, and it was all private fly." I was like, "Oh, it just keeps getting better." You know what I'm saying?
Bless,
it keeps getting better. All right, and so PJ Morton playing Maroon 5 gets major deal. Now they're talking about PJ. You're not quite.
No, not at first. It was good at first. Yeah, I mean, it was like, are you saying after I left the Young Money deal?
Okay, the Young Money deal happened.
So that was good at first. Yeah, I got nominated for my first solo Grammy, real Grammy, with Stevie Wonder. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, only one. I was nominated for Best R&B Song on my New Orleans album that was on Young Money. And that was my first nod. So it was great initially. And it wasn't Young Money that didn't necessarily
No. I'm just
believe. No. I'm saying how I got to Claustrophobic was I was in Young Money. It was cool. It just didn't really work out. But then when I got out of that, I started taking meetings with labels to see what I was going to do next. And those meetings were horrible. Like I just was like, what? I can't be in this, And that's where Claustrophobic came by. And that started my new independent journey. Because I had been indie all those years until the Young Money album. Right. And I was like, no, I'm definitely going to be indie. And I jumped out and did that. And then things really started to take off. I left LA, went to New Orleans, made Gumbo. I mean, it's been 8 Grammy nominations in 3 years. First artist to do Best R&B Album 3 years in a row. Finally won 2 real Grammys. I don't have to lie no more.
And
by mistake. Back to back, yeah. And so, man, it's been a ride. I'm so appreciative of the journey versus like the destination. It's like this feels so much better because of all that stuff. I think including Maroon, I got 13 nominations, but like losing year after year after year made it so much sweeter when I got to it. It was like, and I got to the point. Okay, go ahead.
No, I said, and it was yours.
It was mine. And it was on my independent label. I beat Drake this year. I beat Chris Brown. Like, this was my record on my little label. And they got these major labels and all this. So it just made it so much sweeter. And I just it taught me a lesson to just enjoy where you are. Because then when I started to lose, multiple times, I'm like, all right. So now when I go to Grammys, I just enjoy myself. Just like enjoy being there, being blessed to be even in the conversation. Like I'm here and the win is like just icing on the cake, but lose, like, cause I remember, I guess I was nominated for 3 the year I won this year. And after I won that one, I went in the main show, I was nominated for another one. I didn't care whether I won or not. I'm like, man, we here. And
you're on the floor. And you're on the floor.
And I'm on the floor. Yeah, it was love, man. Love. Yeah. So and it wasn't with Maroon, because of course, like I said, we talk about the bus and the band and the bus. I had been on the floor with Maroon. I had performed on the Grammys 3 times, like I've been there with the band, but this was different. This was me, and it meant it in a different way.
Yeah, man. That's what, because you remember when Shaggy said that. By the way, I voted for you, man, every time.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I remember Shaggy said that.
Yeah, Shaggy said, I've been nominated for a lot of times, man, but I'm going to tell you right now, winning is so much better. Thank you. I was like.
That's a fact. And it's an honor to be nominated, and it's dope to be nominated. I mean, like, it's a great feeling. But hearing your name, with my daughter sitting next to me, oh, my God, man. It's maybe one of the best moments in my whole life. For her to, because then those two, so when you lose, they go fast. You've been in it, you've been a part. They go fast, bro. It's just over. It's just like
I'm ready to go.
So the other 2 went so quick, right? I mean, boom, Lizzo, whoever, Anderson .Paak, she was looking, my daughter. I didn't want her to be sad. I tried to explain to her, like, it's great where we are, Peyton, whether I win or not, Yeah. And I've been there, so I was cool. I kind of wanted her to feel it. But man, when it actually happened, she told me she prayed so hard. She said, I was crossing my fingers, all of this stuff, man. It's one of the best moments ever. Yeah.
Yeah, to have your family there, man.
Sure.
And so now knowing, because I knew you had nominations, and I'm actually tearing up because that I want my son or somebody in my family to be there when I win.
Man, it's special because my wife was the year before with How Deep Is Your Love. I took and she went crazy. My wife is not outspoken at all. I mean, my wife is quiet.
She's level as
she
level
is quiet.
Indeed.
And she screamed. She was so loud in there. But I know what that scream was. That's all them years. I mean, like, it seemed like I'm new. It's all them years, man, of work and 15 years to get here, you know? And it's like, so that scream was like, oh, all the work wasn't in vain, like all that touring, you know? And then my daughter the next year, man, I'm good. Like, I don't have to win nothing ever again. But, you know, but it's good. It feels good to win, though. Won't lie.
Bruh, hey, look at like I said, like people talk to me, you know, a couple people, you know, they were like, yeah, man, you know, it's all right, you know. And some people who have won even, and they're kind of really callous about it. And I say callous, they're respectful of it, but they're kind of like, you know, it was all right. My life didn't change and stuff. And I'm like, but they weren't really invested, in my opinion, in the music industry, because there's no way you can get that and not flip it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't there. It wasn't their makeup.
Flip it how you mean, because some people just don't have that.
To increase. They were like, I'm good. I got it. Cool. I don't want my life to change at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, wow. So you just happy? Okay. I mean, I ain't mad at that, but. Yeah,
I mean, listen, people have their different, you know, I chose to maximize in a big way. Even when I didn't win, I would maximize, you know.
Yeah.
I did Gumbo Unplugged the weekend of losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost that weekend, but I won by doing that album and then winning with that album the next year, you know.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. This cat comes to New York to the Grammy, and I did my best. I didn't even reach out because I was like, I want to go, P, but
it was tight, man. It was
but
tight.
I know it's tight. I don't even want my feelings hurt like that.
Because last minute they shut me down and didn't even let me have the number of people I wanted in there. So that group, because Fire Marshal New York was so serious, so it was tight already, but it was super tight. It was crazy.
And I figured that. I wasn't tripping. I was like, it would be cool to be there because, first of all, man, just talking about, like, so what we're talking about is he released Gumbo, got nominated for Gumbo, didn't win, and at the Grammys in New York, he recorded Gumbo live that weekend. I need y'all to think about it. I need y'all to, like, marinate on that, right? So he comes to New York for the Grammys for his album, and he's planning on recording that same album live that weekend, win or lose. We just gonna do it.
Yeah, that plan came about 3 weeks before the Grammys. I was like, let's do it. Yeah, I was like, might have been 2 weeks. I put it together so quick. I was like, you know what? Because we had been touring nonstop. I was like, we got to show people this. Let's do it. Let's do it in New York, blah, blah, blah. And that,
Well, I feel better now because, like I said, every time I talk to you, man, I'm like checking myself and in a good way, way. You know, I like to, I liken myself to a grinder and a forward-thinking person, but my personality is, oh yeah, let's do that. That's my personality. It's like, I don't need the 20 million months of prep. And I'm like, this the idea.
Oh, especially now. Yeah, I mean, there should be some planning, but for me, it's all about being able to adjust and pivot as things are happening. So I remember initially, I mean, I had thought of the idea a while ago, but I initially was going to do LA for, because All-Star Weekend was in LA that year. So I was like, let's do it in LA. And I was like, I've done a live thing in LA. I was like, the Grammys, we finally ended up on, the Grammys are in New York. You know what, let's do it there. You know, so it was long, and then I decided I didn't want to do it. And at the last minute, I was like, nah, we got to do it. And man, it worked out. It worked out.
First of all, sticking to my guns. You said Ed is the drummer thing?
Yeah, Big Ed. Yep.
Okay. You and Big Ed?
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, as a former, I can't even call myself a drummer anymore. I mean, I'm a drummer on wax. I've been, but, you know, but just that whole vibe.
That's a New Orleans boy right there. That shuffle. That's that shuffle. And then Brian on bass locked in with him, like, and we had, like I said, we had been touring nonstop. So we were, you know, we did that all in one take. I mean, that was just,
but tell people what exactly that means.
It means that we didn't re-record anything. We just, what you hear on the record, string, orchestra included, guest included. All of that was what we did that night. We just did it straight through. That's it. That's the record. We mixed it, and then boom, we were out. And the mixing was even limited to the fact that we were all in one room. So, but the drums were were blocked off, but that was about it. Yeah. And so what you hear is what we did, in one take, and we just captured something special, man. There's no way to know that you're gonna do that, but we were able to do it, and it just worked out.
Can I just say, like everybody else was saying, and you were like, man, it made me feel some type of way, but I guess I need to be okay with it. You're like, everybody's saying Gumbo was cool. Mm-hmm. Gumbo live.
Yeah, I still don't feel, I respect that opinion, but man, Gumbo, the studio version, maybe it was just, it means so much to me because of where I was and what I was doing, but just like it was the album I always wanted to make, like straight up, it was. And then live, we play live so much, so that was just who I am. So when I hear that, but listen, no complaints here. Whatever you love, whichever one you love, cool.
Whichever one got us to this statue and this statue,
more power.
Let's rock with it. Yeah, because and the thing is Gumbo was fire, without a doubt, fire. Mm-hmm. But there's something about a live feel because, and maybe you might want to speak on this, maybe you might not want to. Everybody can't do live. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a fact. I mean, people know that. I think. Well, I mean, I think that is a well-known thing.
You would think it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of people go down in flames live.
We definitely have.
Yeah, but that's always been our main thing. Even before the record, it was about playing. So for me, maybe that's why Gumbo Unplugged is like, yeah, that's just kind of, that's how we did it in one take. I mean. We play off of people. Yeah, that's what we do. So I've been hearing that. But when I did Gumbo, it was just like these sounds and this mix and this, it was all fresh to me. But I will never get tired of playing those songs, though. I mean, I love playing them.
You better not, because they're associated with Grammy, so you can play them for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing. And so then the next album you did, and that's the other thing y'all need to understand. This, I got to figure out how to say it. This man probably has 2 albums in the can. Probably.
I don't. Yeah. So that is a misconception, Sean. Actually.
Well, you did Essence Live. You did Essence Live.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you talking about that? I've done. Yeah, I did. I decided not to put Essence out. We're gonna use it on some documentary stuff. And Paul, right after. Well, I guess I did the Christmas album in between Unplugged and Paul.
You're so in the middle of it, you don't even realize how phenomenal what you're doing is.
But we make those decisions like as we're going. So the pivot is like, oh, Gumbo Unplugged's working. Because see, I didn't know Gumbo Unplugged was going to get us all through the whole year. So I'm like, they just heard this album, so they not, but they did more. So we went on touring more. So I'm like, all right, well, in my mind, Grammy voting and all of that is happening in the fall. Let's put out a Christmas album to help promote the Gumbo Unplugged because we can go and have that conversation again. Yes. So all of that was as things were happening. So as one thing happens, it's like, all right, well, let's plan to do that. And because it usually takes me a long time to work on an album, like just as far as like figuring it out. But Paul was the first time it was an experiment in me trying to not take a long time on an album. Like, let's just
see what happens.
Let's be where we are. Yeah, let's be present, not overthink. And that was the most surprising when it got nominated for Best R&B Album and stuff. It's like, oh, like I didn't.
Got 3 for that too.
Yeah, got 3 nods for that, and I was seriously not expecting to win, and not just like enjoying the ride at that point, to be honest. And man, I'm just been fortunate, man.
Yeah, because like I said, knowing that you had that many nominations.
I mean, you met me when I had none. I had no Grammys.
True story.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you had all those Grammy noms, and so most, because I don't like losing, and even though a Grammy nomination is a win, because like I had to explain to my dad, there's billions of people in the world, and when
it's a win, man.
Only tens of thousands have nominations, and even less have wins. So I'm in an elite club, and I'm so happy to be here. But like Shaggy said, winning is probably a lot better. And as you just confirmed, it is. So I got that hunger to get that.
I don't know if it's as good when you haven't gone through the nods and the losses, though. I think that was his point. Winning after all of this, because that's what made it so. I don't know how I would have felt if I won it that first time. I don't know that it would have been as special.
That's what it is. Because remember, I was just talking about those people that I said they're kind of like,
yeah,
they won them on their first or second.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how Lil Nas X. I don't know if he understands the grind of what it took to. Like, it took me a long time to get there. It took a lot of like, oh man, lost again. Bringing your family and we like my wife almost mad by the time we get there because she like, not again. We came here and did all of this again. But that's what made it so sweet and makes me so appreciative of it, because I know what it's like to not have it, not just once, a lot of times not getting it. And I think that was Shaggy's thing, because he's like, I've been nominated a lot. This win after all that feels amazing, So I just think it's part of the journey. I think that's what makes the perspectives different too.
I don't want to do 12 nominations. I'm cool with the 2. I think
you felt it enough, huh? You felt it enough.
See, I'm old though, so you know what I'm saying. I'm old, so that it's.
But you see some of them that get up there and say, "Man, I've been doing this my whole life. This is my first Grammy."
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's like.
Who's the other lady? The country artist.
Yeah, I remember her up there. I can't remember who it was, but I remember her saying it.
Yeah.
Saying like, I've been nominated for 20 times or something.
Yeah. I don't want to be the Erica. I said I don't want to be the Erica Kane Azadi in Career. From Louisiana. I don't want to be the.
What's that?
Susan Lucci was nominated for like 100 daytime Emmys. For Erica Kane, All My Children.
Okay.
Her character. She never won, and she never won.
Ever.
I think they gave her a lifetime achievement thing, maybe.
Sure. It happens. Some of our greatest that we love never won.
So and I remember you I really appreciate you, taking the time to tell me, because I was like, Pete, man, I'm doing this, that, and the other. And you said, whoa. Do not create for the Grammy.
No, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't really gonna do that, but I was kind of thinking I might want to just kind of slide.
Yeah, that strategy gets in the way of the real thing sometimes.
Yeah.
You can over strategize. I mean, I only knew that because that was me at one time. Over strategizing and focus you got to create without that in mind, and then say, all right, now that we got this thing that I created, how are we going to strategize and make it be what it's supposed to be?
Yeah. That was a blessing. That was a blessing for real. Thank you for blessing me that way. Because because you get like you said, well, like when you're in it and you're trying to figure all the stuff out, you can go left and go down the wrong path. So you've now got your Grammys. You've released you've released 4 albums in 3 years.
Yeah, 5 in 3 years. Yeah, Gumbo Unplugged,
3 years.
Christmas with PJ Morton, Paul, and piano album. Yeah.
5 in 3 years.
Yeah.
And so is there a mindset? Well, I know it's not, but just for the people, I'm gonna ask the question. Is there a mindset shift to get off the private plane and get into the van?
To be honest with you, I love the.
You love the van.
I love the both. I love the balance of it. I love that I'm the same person on the jet that I am in the van. I love that whatever. I'm with my friends. I'm with my lifelong friends in the van. And by the way, we moved up to a bus finally.
You're talking about it. So okay, so now let's talk about the bus. First time the bus is yours.
Yeah.
What is that?
It just felt like, I mean, you people, like I said, I started a band with Ed when I was 12. I mean, you're talking about 20 years, over 20 years playing music together. And we are living our dreams. Like we made it. So when I got on the bus with Badu or with Maroon 5, it's like, cool, this is supposed to be this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But when I got it on my own, it's like, it just was a crazy feeling. It was like I'd never been on a bus before. It felt so different. It was like a new bus. Like it was like, this is crazy. Like, we did this. Because in the other instances, other people did that. So it's like I'm a part of other things, but what we created. yeah, it wasn't in vain that we started Christians Combined when I was 12 and you were 14. You know, we
Right.
made all these records. Ed has played on every single record I've ever had. I mean, it's 20 years of work, and he's probably like, you know, like, wow, like we here and we on a tour bus. You know, that means you're a real touring musician. Like that's what that, you know, that's a symbol. That's a symbol of something. So, yeah, it's been amazing. But we were no different on the van than the jet, than the bus. It's like, we're doing it. We do this for real. Like, and we love it and we love each other. For me, it's more about the people than the little extra comfort. It's like, cool, but you know, do I love what I'm doing? Ultimately is what it's about for me. And being with my friends, I mean, that I grew up with, it's just, that never gets old to me. I don't care what we're on, to be honest.
Yeah, and well, I know one big difference. You went from the bump to the bedroom.
I went from what?
From the bump to the bedroom.
Word.
On the bus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You went from the bunks.
Bunks. But see, I'm a big bunk sleeper. That's the best sleep I get in my life. So I don't even take Ed. I give Ed the back lounge. Yeah. I give Ed the back lounge. I'm always bottom right on any bus I get on. Yeah, I sleep better. Well, before the pandemic, because I've been sleeping. I've been getting some real sleep in the pandemic. Yeah. But like, I sleep better in a bunk than I do any bed, any hotel, any whatever. It's something about being the movement and being totally dark. I don't know. It's my jam.
First of all, I'm again, and I know I've been giving you kudos this whole time. Like, but the fact that you give your boy the bed, because first of all, he's taller than you, he's larger than you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First of all. And the fact that even though you're the guy, you're like, yo, Ed, it's you.
Yeah, I mean, they keep me balanced. Yeah, I don't even think that was a conversation. First of all, I like the bunk. It might have been a different conversation if I wanted the back lounge.
Right, but how did he see that significance?
I don't know, man. We're so
gotta even talk about it.
This is who we are. Yeah, this is who we are. Like you got to understand how long we've been friends to understand.
He tells everybody else, man, look, PJ, that dude. You know what I'm saying? We on the bus, he gave me the back room. He's still sleeping in the back.
I don't know. I can't imagine Ed says that to anybody. Who knows? But for us, yeah. But for us, I don't think it was a conversation. It just wouldn't naturally happen.
Yeah. Man, that's phenomenal. So now, what's next for PJ Morton?
Well, I got a deadline for this. I'm putting out this gospel compilation. Yeah, I'm putting out this gospel compilation. I'm gonna announce the date pretty soon here, but it's coming out this year, and huge compilation. I mean, I posted I was on Zoom. Commission's gonna be on it. Jay Moss, Smokey Norfolk, Tasha Cobbs, Yolanda Adams, the Clark sisters. It's gonna be amazing. It's called Gospel According to PJ, and it's really me reinterpreting my songs with these gospel artists, you know, that I love and respect.
Your songs with gospel artists.
My songs, yeah. So some songs that you've heard before, like "Let Go," or
your gospel songs. Okay.
Yeah, or "Over and Over."
Yeah.
Gotta Have You. These different songs that I've written that may have been hits in gospel,
Yeah.
But now I'm producing them the way I want to hear them, and having Commission do a song that you've heard before. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait.
So that's coming soon, and yeah, man. So that's next, and that's my that's where my head is. I'm kind of just trying to finish that, and you know, I imagine I may do a record next year on myself. But I haven't really gotten into it yet. You know, I always wanted to take a little second because of those 5 albums in 3 years. I wanted to do this. I mean, Corona kind of sped it up for me, you know, but it's been good. I needed to reset. I put a lot of output out, you know, but this allowed me to, I feel like the gospel album, gospel being music of hope and inspiration, this is a perfect time to put it out there to the world, you know. So
this is probably the most you've been home in 20 years.
Oh yeah, it's no question. Not probably. I mean, this is a record. I don't know how long it's been. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been. I've been home for 4 months straight. Like what? No.
So are you itching yet or no?
No, I'm not. I'm not itching.
You got little kids. It's different for me. My kids
Bruh.
are grown and gone.
Man, I'm loving it. Yeah, I taught my kids how to ride bikes. I mean, yeah, it's
Like the
been
life-
amazing. I was homeschooling, P3. So we playing catch up. So I'm really not in a rush to get. I mean, I do miss the people. I miss playing to people.
Yeah.
I miss that exchange. But no rush, no super rush. Yeah.
But the upside is that you get to spend valuable family.
100%, while still getting work done, working on movies and working on, TV shows and working on tracks for other people, in some instances, like just kind of busy, but I'm here, I'm home, I'm home.
And that's been, like I said, it's been amazing because the coronacation, like I call it, has been very, very busy for me, which kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
That I will be busier.
Yeah. A lot of lessons in this for sure.
But it's a lot of lessons, and and we'll deal with it. So, okay, Pete, we've come to the end, man. First of all, let's do that thing. Screenshot selfie. So here we go. We'll take a screenshot selfie. You ready?
All right.
I think. Let me see. Let's see if I got it. Let's see if I got it. Well, let's just do it again. Just
all right.
Look, hold on. Let's do it again, just to make sure. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Got it.
I'm in.
Got
all right, bro.
I didn't hear the thing. So before we go, man, just tell. I like to leave everybody with a word of advice for artists or singers or producers or whatever. A word of advice.
Well, artists, I always say this, kind of seems simplistic, but it's really harder than it sounds. But find the thing that makes you unique and hone in on that. With the thing that makes you different is the thing that will allow you to have longevity in whatever you do. Because if you're copying or if you're trying to be like somebody else, then they're always going to eventually go to the original to get it. So find the thing that makes you different and that you can perfect and make it your own. And that's where your treasure is, in the different, not in the same, not how you're the same. Don't worry about what's on radio. Don't worry about these things. Worry about what makes you different.
Dude, that's it.
Yes, sir.
So hold
yes,
on, man.
sir.
I'm going over. We're gonna think. Hey, thank y'all. Give it up for PJ Morton. Where can we follow you, PJ?
I am at PJ Morton everywhere online. The website is pjmortonmusic.com. All the merch is on thegumbostore.com. Boom.
Sweet. There you go. Y'all go follow him. We'll see y'all next time on All Things Music. We'll holler.
Thank you for tuning in to All Things Music. We really appreciate you being a part of our backstage hang. So tune in at 7 p.m. Central Time every Thursday, All Things Music.